the drive should be up and running, so let's try it again. Here we go. Ready?
We're in good shape for ice.
You want those tubes close to your skin.
You're not going to suit up?
Yeah, next.
Oh, okay.
Doug Withers.
Yeah, you do want to be fairly snug, but
I'm just briefing, but I
Feels
don't
good.
think that matters.
yeah, it is.
Feels good.
All right.
It's my little mithril armor vest here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're going to
All
duck
right.
back into
Back in?
it again.
That's what we should have done first.
Oh, this is nice.
All right.
So arms first?
in. Yeah, and stay seated. And
Okay.
then when you get up to the next seal, feel free to slow down a little bit. And you,
Got it.
last time you pushed right through it, and that's fine too.
We good?
Yep. We'll help you. Good. Yeah. It's a little curl there.
You know I'm going to fly your vehicle, don't you? You know, and when I say fly your vehicle, I don't mean fly in your vehicle. I've got 85 hours in gliders, and I got my instrument rating, and I'm flying the damn thing.
You're gonna have to talk to Rick.
I'll talk to Rick. You tell Rick's your boss. You set me up with any flight test he wants.
So turn the cooling on for it. You can try to kind of just get a feel for it.
Get this
See
little.
how it feels. It might
I
be
think
a
I'm
little
hitting
tight.
it's like a metal something or other that's kind of running into my chest a little bit. It's
Yeah,
not bad.
yeah.
It's better
that's
now.
not controlling there.
Better now.
Okay.
We'll zip this up a little bit back here. We're going to have the liquid cooling coming out down in the rear of the, so we'll leave it just like that.
Yeah.
For this suit.
Normally, you won't be wearing a liquid cooling garment. You're going to have air cooling going in through this vent inlet here.
Okay.
And we just have the liquid cooling for this exercise.
It really helps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really helps.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
that looks pretty good.
Terrific.
So then we get you some boots.
Some boots.
Have a seat.
Okay.
These ones?
Go ahead.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Actually get you out of the suit. Are you getting warm
yeah.
or
We have all
are you
the
good
sizes,
sizes?
but
Is that one?
I'm on the right.
Yeah.
I could use a shot of cold. If you
Okay.
want that.
Feel better? These ones to lock in here. Line up the 1 bar with the 3 bar, and then you just rotate. You
Got
see
it.
how those two just snap in like that?
Fantastic.
If you wanted to get out of it, you just slide these up like that and
And then
rotate
out.
back, and
Okay.
it'll come right up.
Great.
To get in, it's easy.
When
Just
it's
push and rotate. So if you want to try it, you're welcome to.
Okay.
We'll get you. We're gonna actually have 2 different gloves on it here, but.
Yeah.
These
Oh, yeah,
come
they're
forward.
aware.
To unlock.
Yeah, you push out
Yeah.
toward your hand.
This is just for him. It's not going out.
And then rotate. Once it starts to rotate, you're free.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
Already been.
Probably easier if you do that again.
Yeah,
Okay.
opposite of here on the left.
Push Yeah. it flush.
Got it. Boom. Excellent.
And then we just snug these up too.
Okay.
Just to
By the way, I noticed these are really
get too much going
easy
on
to
here.
use on the doorknob and all.
Alright, we're good.
Didn't really notice them. They're good gloves.
And it's snug up in this. No Velcro on there.
Okay.
Excellent.
Alrighty.
Feels great.
So overall, you say the suit feels comfortable.
Feels fantastic. Fits. It's cool.
You
It's
can take those
excellent.
off.
All right. That's what I'd like to hear.
Good.
And you're thermally comfortable.
I am absolutely peak readiness.
All right. So
Okay.
now we're.
I can't hear you. You're just going to have to wear
First
that for
helmet.
the rest of your
There's
life.
2 different types of helmets we're trying to evaluate and get good feedback on and whatnot.
Okay.
So this is the first one. It's got just basically a big dome.
Okay.
So I'll actually let you put
Okay,
it
now
on.
you can
Just
reach
ease it
back
over
there
the things
and
not
loosen
pop
your face
nose and
seal.
all that
With
stuff.
that knob
Just
on the-
kinda just.
On the back.
No,
Good
I
idea.
really-
Get that helmet off next.
Oh yeah. No problem.
The field of view, the visor's just slightly bigger than the other helmets. We're evaluating that.
But it's not supposed to rotate.
And you can leave that on or take it off. We're going to do a helmet evaluation. On a bearing. You need to look over your shoulders.
Because it looks cool.
But for the most part, when the
You're not
visor's
sealed.
down, you'll be able to see everything in your immediate.
You don't have to be sealed.
It's not bad. It feels a
Is it
little
sealed?
tight for me inside. I think the
No,
helmet
it's not
feels
the
like it
best
could be a little.
seal, is it?
Yeah.
Let's try the visor.
Okay. The visor works on this one by pulling these two buttons here. Once you get over this little detent, and then it'll drop down.
So work on my
So at that point, you
Yeah.
pull the lever down and it just
Yeah.
snaps
Yeah, I
in.
didn't think about
So
it.
you're in.
Face seal and
Yeah. Well, you'll feel a different when you breathe. It'll suck. Yeah.
See, look
I
here,
feel it
yeah,
going up
and
and
then
down.
look at it, seal on mine.
glasses.
Yeah,
I
that,
was
that's a
really
little
worried
weird
about
when you
that.
first bring it in.
Sure,
like that.
that's really cool.
I never could seal around my
So
glasses
you're in
with
good
the
shape here. I'll show you how this
Okay.
latch works and you
Okay.
can try it
So I
out.
never got it
It's
sealed
very
there.
similar to the other one.
I
So
used to-
basically,
I used to
like
say you
starter
were
type like this.
Yep.
It drops down, pull the bar down, just snap it in.
It
Yep,
was
you're in.
always coming out.
To open it up, you pull this lever out and push these buttons in. So pull out and then in.
Yep.
And release the door and that one,
I'm
you
not
push up on the bar.
entirely
So
To the
we
detail.
use this assembly
Love
so you
it.
can mount it on your shoulder
Excellent.
right now.
Perfect.
You look good in that, Bill.
Okay.
One of the
I think
major
what we'll do is
differences
we'll
is
get
you
you
got
the
your
other
seal around
suit
your neck
and
instead
you
of
could
your
We
face.
could try it in
Feel
the
that.
vehicle with this one, yeah.
Trevor?
Feels good.
Yeah?
I gotta close the visor.
Well,
again,
it's
that's my
cool,
favorite part.
but it's still made of milk and sugar and all the things you make ice cream out of.
Yeah.
No, actually he is.
Right.
He is not my boss.
Well,
But I work with him.
he makes ice cream that doesn't make it.
I know that. I've had it.
Did it taste good?
Yes.
Cool, can I have some?
Is he threatening to make some now?
Okay. It's the same mechanism, but
Don't
let's pull
encourage.
that forward.
You can do it once and then,
Yeah. It is a bit harder because you can't see it. It is the same mechanism. You pull this forward first, and then click these two.
You don't have to do it. Oh, it's a latch.
right.
I could feel it.
You can
Try
do
that
one
more
after
time.
the
Try it
other.
again, yeah. Yep, and then squeeze up. Yep. There
And
you go.
then you grab the bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
You still prefer the other helmet, though?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's good feedback.
So as far as operability of either one,
Dad, when everybody
Now this helmet is certainly moving when I turn my head. The whole thing rotates.
yep.
But I have to tell you, I never, ever felt with the other helmet that I had a visibility problem to the side. I never felt like I was missing anything.
Okay. And you do with this one? Lateral visibility?
Lateral's fine, and this one,
I don't know.
clearly, whenever I move my head, the ring is real smooth. There's no, it's real ergonomic. It's moving in the same direction my neck wants to move, and that's nice. And I'm getting a little more used to the neck thing. It wasn't the face seal that was bothering me. The neck seal never bothered me. I love the neck seal.
Yeah.
Ustream just loops these things around here, so boy, that was just the time of my life. Let me just tell you a little bit about what was going on in there. Mostly, what was going on there was a guy who was having the time of his life. A guy who'd been, waiting his whole life for that. Two things really, just to talk about the suit, or being in an actual pressure suit. The first time they put that visor down when I was standing up and the gauntlets were on and the suit was actually, designed to hold pressure. Obviously, you have little booties like little footies, I guess, like pajamas, and they go into the boots, but they hold the pressure. So the first time he put that visor down on me when I was standing up, the second that thing locks into place, the atmosphere inside the suit is different than the one outside the suit. So the second you exhale, that air has nowhere to go because none of the air hoses are hooked up yet. And the second you exhale, it almost pops your eardrums, and you can just feel this incredible increase in pressure. And with the visor down, the only air you're breathing is the air in the suit. And when I got into the vehicle, I had the visor down for 20, 30, or 40 seconds, and it's like, get a little stuffy in here. So there was that. And then the second thing about the suit was they had two different kinds of helmets that they were trying out. And before I go into that, I just want to say, before I forget, how much I appreciate that from the technicians at Dave Clark. The guys that make aviation headsets, Dave Clark, made the suits for the Apollo program. Who knew? I was stunned. But the technicians were as nice as can be, incredibly competent, sweet, capable, friendly guys. So they were great. And they were looking for feedback. They were looking for actual feedback because it helps them. So there were actually two different helmets I was wearing. The helmet that I wore in the fitting room was different than the helmet that I wore out in the vehicle. And the difference was The first suit had a seal around your neck. You had to push your head through, and it formed a seal around your neck. And then you had the communications cap on, but you could turn your head pretty much any way you want to because there was a seal down here. And the helmet was considerably bigger. The second one had a seal around your face, and so whenever you turned your face, the helmet would turn with you, and it was considerably more uncomfortable. I really liked, if you go back and watch it again, you'll see there's more headroom inside the bigger helmet with the neck seal, and you can do all this very easily without the helmet turning. The second one felt much more like a Mercury capsule helmet. It was a little tight around the face, but in any event, it was about as cool as it could get. Now, as I said, the thing I like most about this company is that this isn't vaporware. What I was in was not actually a mock-up. It was the basis of the first of the vehicles. So you saw the Lynx vehicle. I had a couple of quick other pictures to show you real fast here. Oops, that's the movie. Sorry. Here's from their website. Certainly more recent than the one I said, and you can see that they delivered the interior. That's the pressure chamber. That's pretty much the whole pressure chamber. So they pressurize that. The stuff behind it is propulsion, and the wings obviously aren't, but that is. And you can see from this picture just how much further along the vehicle is. It's pretty much completely skinned. I talked to Arlita today on the phone, and she says the thing is looking like a real spaceship. They put the nose on it. So that's really incredible. And I'll come back to that in a second, too. I just have to point out a picture here of a guy named Mike Massey who does all of the media and visualization for X-Core. I just wanted to single him out because as a guy who's done a lot of computer animation in his life, what Mike has done up there just with a copy of Lightwave is produce some of the best space animation I've ever seen, some of the most realistic stuff I've seen, and Mike's a terrific guy, really great guy. But the thing about the vehicle is unusual, and that is when you look at the Lynx from the outside, it's got the windows are flat planes of glass, but the inside is a bubble. And I couldn't understand that. I couldn't understand why that would be. Certainly the flat planes of glass look a little more archaic, makes it look almost like a Heinkel or something like one of these 1930s airplanes. And I asked why that was. And obviously, for those of you engineers out there, you know for pressure, you don't want sharp corners. Anytime you have an edge, it sets up stress risers and basically wants to tear the edge apart. That's why the Constellation, the British de Havilland Constellation, which was the first jet passenger liner in service, had several in-flight disintegrations, and they didn't know why. Finally, they took the airplane and put it underwater and pressurized it and depressurized it and ran it through a lot of cycles, and they found out that through no fault of anybody's own. This is how we learn things. This is why we need to be flying space missions. It's an unfortunate thing to say, but if we don't have people dying up there, we're not learning anything. They found out from the flight of the de Havilland Comet that had several fatal crashes, and that they'd put square windows on the Comet. And as the airframe was pressurized and depressurized, which is not a problem you had before, it created these cracks on the corners. And so those cracks opened up and destroyed a couple of airframes. And if you look at any commercial airliner today, you'll notice that the windows are oval. They don't have corners. That's why. So anyway, that's just going back to this previous picture here. So what you've got on the inside here is you've got a pressure body that is as round as it can be, because that's better for holding the pressure. But why have the flat glasses on the outside? Why not have this cool curved plexiglass? And I talked to Jeff Grayson, the president of X-Core, and he gave me an answer that gives me so much insight into why private space is better than the government program. What Jeff said was, we have two problems. We had a curved pressure hull that we needed to be curved. And he said, but the glass had to be able to withstand reentry heat. Now, the reentry heat that this vehicle takes is only a couple hundred degrees. It's nothing like the thousands of degrees that you take coming back from an orbital flight, because you're not going anything like that fast. But he said the glass is expensive. And what Jeff said to me was, in order to get curved glass canopy, something that looked really cool, that would hold the pressure, the curved glass would cost as much as the vehicle. And so what they decided to do was come up with a perfectly great workaround. You put a pressurized bubble, which is good for the pressure, inside a flat plane window, which is good for the thermal treatment. Now, they'll get that done on Lynx Model 2 or Model 3, the Mark III. They'll get this resolved once they have a little more money, but it is the cost of the vehicle. And I admire that enormously. It's like, okay, this may be somewhat aesthetically unusual, but it's actually somebody's money, you know? And they're not gonna spend the cost of the vehicle and not do the vehicle because they couldn't get the curved exterior glass. They found a perfectly good solution. Curved on the inside for the pressure, flat planes on the outside for the heat tiles. They're going to fly that this year, I think, and towards the end of the year they're going to fly that thing off of Mojave. And once the vehicle's been flight tested, they're moving to Midland, Texas, because California doesn't like having businesses in California, and Texas does. So that's the answer to that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. I'll hopefully splice these two things together, get up on YouTube in one piece, and that was one of the best days of my life. So I just want to again thank Mike Massey and especially Jeff Grayson, Dan DeLong, and more than anything, the wonderful Arleta Jackson, who those guys have kept me going up there and kept me entertained. And I am going to be I'm going to ride in that vehicle, and I don't want to ride in the right seat. I want to ride in the left seat. I want the safety pilot to ride in the right seat. We'll have that conversation later. But anyway, and we'll talk about how we can get rides ourselves as we get towards the end of some of these questions. So what are we doing on time here? Okay. Good. We took about an hour, and that's good. So let's get on with the questions from last week.